My name is Jeremy Smith. I'm the National Coordinator for Ebenezer here in the land of Israel. I am married with 6 children ranging from 26 down to 11. I moved to Israel in 2003 and since then my family has been planted here and grown up here, and so we're very much part of the makeup of Israel.
Shalom, I'm Shlomit. I work for Ebenezer, for Russian-speaking Olim coming from different countries.
Hello, I'm Colin Ross. I've been part of the Ebenezer team for about the past year, although I've been in Israel since 1997 when I moved here with my family. I'm married to Rosie. We've been married a long time, and we have 3 grown-up kids, all of whom are in Israel, and that's a great blessing for us.
Ebenezer has been running for over 30 years now and started here in Jerusalem in 1991 at a prayer conference, an international prayer conference, where a man called Gustav Scheller heard God's voice and God told him, now is the time to bring the Jewish people back. And so over the 30 years we have brought over 190,000 Jewish people back to the land, and they've come, we've hired ships, we've hired planes, and we've done everything we can to assist them in their return. Jeremiah 16 we read about the fishermen and the hunters, and really over these 30 years Christians as fishermen have gone out to the nations to tell the Jewish people now is the time to return. And we read in Isaiah 49 that God says he will raise his hand as an oath to the nations, that they, the Gentiles, the nations, will bring back the Jewish people in their arms and their daughters on their necks, on their shoulders. And really as a ministry that's what we seek to do.
It's a great privilege to be involved in the work of Ebenezer here. So many in Ebenezer are out in the nations, speaking to Jewish people, helping them to make Aliyah. Once they make Aliyah, they're often left to their own devices. Here in the Jerusalem office, we seek to provide some support for those who are really struggling.
Some of the people we have helped have had disabled children, and they come to Israel for the very good medical support that they get. But it can take up to 6 months to get a diagnosis from the doctors, and until you get that diagnosis you don't get the support of the medical system and Israel.
They're entitled to the benefits, but what do they do while they're waiting for the bureaucracy to work through?
A way we have helped is taking those families and supporting them whilst they wait for their diagnosis from the hospitals. So we've had children with Down syndrome, autistic children, and we've put them in families.
If we can be of help, that's such a privilege. Unless somebody making Aliyah has a first address that they're going to go to as soon as they arrive in Israel, the authorities won't actually allow them to fly. We now provide them with that opportunity. In Haifa we have a house where we're able to welcome Neolim as their first address for the first few weeks of their time in Israel. Marcus and Rachel Ackerman and their family are from Germany, and they oversee Haifa House and provide that place of welcome, introducing New Olim to those authorities that can help them to find permanent accommodation, to put children into schooling, to start language studies, to open a bank account, and other simple, obvious things that form such an important and challenging part of anybody's new life in this new country.
Here is what some people have said about their experience of moving to Israel and those first few weeks and months. So I'm with Andrea, who has been in Haifa House here for a few weeks now. So tell me, where are you from?
I'm from Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, and I did Aliyah on July 21st. I called to Mabel, that is a Brazilian volunteer. So I said to Madai, I need a place to stay while looking for an apartment. And she said, we have Ebenezer operation, she can stay over there. So for me, it was wonderful because it's a good place. We are very well received. The help that we receive here is amazing. And you have peace of mind to looking for an apartment, to see the city, the best way that you can live. So for me, it's the best choice.
Yeah, it's nice to feel safe. At least you can come somewhere.
Safe.
You're a long way from home, aren't you, really?
Yes, especially because I came alone.
Yeah.
So my brothers, my friends, my mother, everybody stayed in Brazil. So it's very nice when you can find a place like that in order to start your life, new life.
And we arrived at the 3rd of August from Berlin at the Ben Gurion in the late night, and now we are about 2 months here in Haifa. So this was, for example, a very great help and welcoming the Ebenezzer Olim house in Haifa. But the family Ackerman was very, very helpful. A lot of patients, were helping everybody, and this was really amazing, and it's a good house.
I can remember sitting in the office here, and one of my colleagues was on the phone, and she was from France, and she started speaking in Hebrew and realized that the person didn't speak Hebrew, and then changed to French, and they didn't speak French, and then she had 2 words of Russian. And so I realized at that point that the woman on the other end of the phone spoke Russian, and I realized we didn't have anybody to speak Russian. So I very quickly got on to my international boss, and I texted him and I say, we need a Russian speaker. And I can remember him saying to me, Jeremy, I'm in Moscow at the moment, I will ask them if they know of anybody. And so very quickly the message came back, had we heard of Shlomit? I got in touch with her, and within a week she'd come into our office. And so now we had a Russian speaker.
When Haifa House was first opened, most of the Olim coming there and using it as their first address were from the former Soviet Union. What's happened in recent months is a trend towards immigration from Latin America.
I'm aware now that we also need a Spanish speaker, because they're coming from Spanish-speaking countries. And so we know a number of people who speak Spanish and other languages like French, German, Arab-speaking countries. We need those languages to be able to support people as they come and to assist in their planting in the land.
With the outbreak of hostilities between Russia and Ukraine, we're anticipating large numbers, thousands coming to Israel from Ukraine, probably from Russia, from other countries in Eastern Europe. And we're seeking to be whatever help we can in assisting them as they make their new lives in the promised land of Israel.
On behalf of Ebenezer, I want to thank you for all of your support through prayer and financial giving. It undergirds us as we're doing the work of the kingdom around the world and here in Israel. So thank you very much for everything, all your support.